Hello pilots and welcome to Motion RC Live. Today we're having a little hangout session checking out some of the latest products coming across my workbench that could be entering your workbench soon also. We have the new 90mm J-10 setting here in front of me, and I also have the Dornia DO-27 setting here that Papa has been working on behind the scenes putting this one together. He was looking for another model to put together, and I said, hey, I got just the one for you so we can get some video and content out on this aircraft for you guys if you've been interested in getting into a little STOL aircraft that has that military look to it, and it's a lot of fun to fly. As always, Lori is in the background right now monitoring the comment section. She's going to be typing along with us, answering your questions as best as possible. If there's something that needs to be directed to me, she can always get my attention. So anyway, guys, I hope everybody's having a great month. Right now, Joe Nall is going as we speak. I've seen a lot of guys posting from out there. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm really sad I didn't get to make it this year out to Joe Nall. It's one I always try and do every year, but just couldn't make it this year. I'll be up in Jet Jam in Indiana here in 2 weeks, and it was just a little bit too much of a complicated schedule right now to make that happen. So if you're coming to Jet Jam, I will see you there. We'll have a lot of fun out there flying together. Me and Jerry McGee are heading up together. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think John Burden's coming with us. Some of y'all have seen some of those guys in some of the videos we've done lately. I know we have a video of Jerry flying his Nexa Dauntless on the channel coming up soon. You're going to be seeing. And so it'll be fun to go up with those guys and fly with a lot of our customers there. I've already been talking. I know Alan Rockwell, he always watches this. He's pretty Jones that we're going to get to fly together up there. We're going to put our Tomcats up, have a lot of fun together. And it's always fun to get to film and video with our customers. I know it's one thing for me to film a lot of the videos, but it's another thing when you get to see people that have actually spent their hard-earned money to buy our aircraft or being successful and having a great time with them. So I'm really looking forward to that. Little housekeeping thing today. We do have MIP screwdrivers, bits, and nut drivers available here at Motion RC. I'll let Lori pop those up on the screen for just a second, and I have a couple here that we can show in just a second. But yeah, if you haven't checked these out, these are pretty much the most premium Allen key screwdrivers you can buy on the market right now. And there's also the nut drivers, and there's all the different sizes that are kind of hard to find. If you've ever been out to look at like Lowe's or Home Depot or anywhere, finding stuff made for hobbyists is not that easy, or you got to buy a 15-pack to get the one 2.0 screwdriver you want to be able to put in all the stuff in your Freewing kit. So now we have that, and there is that one kit that has the 3 most common sizes in it. That's the 1.5, the 2.0, and the 2.5. That screwdriver set right there is really going to be the set you want to get if you're into Freewing and Flightline aircraft, because that's going to fit almost everything on all of our aircraft, from the landing gear to the tiller arms to the screws to put the rudders and the wings and stuff on. You know, a lot of those are using the 2.0s outside of your standard Phillips screwdriver, of course. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. That's new to the website. If you haven't checked those out, they're a little more expensive than some tools, but I promise you, if you pay the money to get these, they are going to be the best nut drivers and screwdrivers you've ever had. Let's go to the Top Shop for just a second, Lori, and just give them a quick look at one of these. So let me see here. I should have zoomed it in a little bit, but as you can see, it is a very premium quality nut driver. They come with these little rubber tips to protect your ends. Wow, it is on there. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, but the little rubber tips to protect them, they do get easier to put on and off over time. But these are just very nice screwdrivers. They've got the laser engraving right there on the end of them, so that you can actually see the sizes, and then the nice premium quality. But like I said, these fit those perfectly. So if you've ever had that issue where you're taking apart, you can go back to the front, taking apart your what do they call them, the set screws on the landing gear and stuff, you know that sometimes if you don't have a nut driver that fits those just right, you can round them off, and oh, that's never good. So these fit them perfectly, and you hardly will ever strip out screws once you switch to these. So this is definitely something I recommend. Anyway, so if we don't have any questions yet, let's get on to some of the new products here in front of me. I'm going to slide the DO off to the side. As a lot of you saw this month, we have a new jet here available from Freewing Models at Motion RC. This is the J-10. Lori's going to move the little DO off for me. Thank you. Make some room. You know, this is a really fun aircraft. The J-10 can do a great high alpha, so a lot of guys know I love doing high alpha. I've been slowly moving my CG back further and further as I've been flying that. I plan on taking this up to Jet Jam and having a blast with it, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of content for you out there. But I wanted to take a minute, if you guys had any questions, I'll fire it up. We'll show the landing gear, that kind of stuff up close right now. This is a great time if you have questions about the aircraft and thinking about getting it. Ask them to us, and I'll try and show it to you as best as I can. As far as assembly goes, super straightforward. You have the 4 screws on the vertical to put this on. You have 2 screws that actually hold the forward canards on. Everything is installed for you out of the box, though. You do need to glue your canopy on. There is an STL 3D printable file either coming out or it's out now. I haven't double checked on this. And the reason this comes not installed is for customers that choose to put that 3D printed cockpit in. It's going to come uninstalled, so it's easy for you to go on and put that in. It is also including the first one of our quick connects as far as out here in the front. If you haven't seen the product video, there's 2 tabs right here in the front that actually align right here with this little copper plate, and that transfers power up to the heads-up display on this model to give you that nice green glow inside the cockpit. You know, previous models that have tried this have had that wire, so you had to set the cockpit right beside the aircraft. Well, now you can just take it right off. And I look forward to seeing this getting implemented in future version 2s and new release aircraft, along with some of the other stuff that's been going on. So Lori says we have a question from the audience. What's going on?
Luke is asking, so now that this model's been out for a while, is it next to the Eurofighter, same except for the looks, flight performance, high alpha, etc.?
So I've had a lot of flights on the Eurofighter. I've had a lot of guys asking me to compare these two. They are both delta wing aircraft. I will say the lifting body of the Eurofighter feels a little more floaty to me. This one feels a little heavier where it'll penetrate the wind a little bit more. Takes just a little bit more time when you get on the throttle to kind of pull out of your high alpha maneuvers. But it definitely has a lot of the same characteristics. So when you pull the aircraft real hard, instead of it ever winging out and stalling on you, it'll just kind of set the back end and mush around. I know if you're going along, you can pull real hard. It'll stand up just like this and do a beautiful Cobra maneuver. I haven't tried flat spinning it. I'm not the greatest at that. I'm going to be honest. I like to fly them around nice and scale. As you see in a lot of the videos, there are other guys that fly them crazier like that. But overall, I mean, it lands very easily. It's a delta wing aircraft. So if you've ever had one, Eurofighter or this aircraft, there are a lot of similarities, but there are differences. I feel like the roll rate on this is a little bit faster than the Eurofighter. But the Eurofighter is probably my absolute favorite release from Freewing in the last 2 years. It's kind of a funny thing. When it came out, I didn't love it, but it has grown on me, and the more I fly that aircraft, the more it's one of my all-time favorite Freewing models. Used to be the Venom for me, but then I've grown into that Eurofighter, and the capabilities of sliding it around in the air and the high alpha, it's just a very fun aircraft, and the J-10 fits in there right with it. So the more I get used to this, the more I love it. Now, they're very similar aircraft, yes. They're both delta wing. Like I said, it's just a little bit different. I feel like this one feels a little bit bigger setting in front of you. They both come with all the ordnance, though. I mean, they're fully loaded 90mm jets, which is what a lot of customers have been asking for. And they only keep getting better now with the quick disconnect wings. One thing I will say on this one, as far as taking it in and out to the field, it is easier to take apart because you just hit the 2 buttons like that and slide the wing off. I mean, it's that quick to take the wing on and off of this aircraft. You now have those quick connects in the wing. that are embedded, so you don't have any servo wires to line up, anything like that. And then it's got these metal reinforcements that actually do the clipping in. But once again, that is one of the bigger differences as far as taking it in and out of the car, taking it to the field. This aircraft can easily fit in the back of a small car. I put it in my Mustang, which you guys know what a backseat of a Mustang looks like. This fits in it because it's that easy to just pop the wings off and go out to the field with it, which I really like that. On the Eurofighter, it had the same cheater duct system on it, which worked fantastic, so I'm happy to see it came over to this aircraft. And I like how they added, like, on the back here for your ventral fins, they're on the same type of missile rail systems you've seen on a lot of our aircraft. So if you want to put this in your car with the wheels up, you can actually pop these off, pop the antennas off. They're all made to just snap in and out. See, here's this antenna on the bottom. Normally you'd glue these in, but on this aircraft, they're made to where they snap in. That way, if you're going to set it on the fuselage in your car, you can just pop all this stuff off, set it on the fuselage, and not have to worry about breaking all the little antennas. So there's just a lot of really good details in this aircraft that are awesome, and I can't wait to see them make it into more. Lori said we have another question from the audience.
Well, they're wanting to see the wheels go up and down, which I know you're going to show that.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Let me fire it up. We'll get it into a sling, and we can do that. We can put the wheels up and down. But
they're asking, and I don't really know the answer to this question, but is the Quick Connect a new standard? It's something new they're trying.
It's something new they're trying in this aircraft. I don't know if it's going to be a new standard yet. You know, we've always been using that little white ribbon cable before, and guys always liked it, but every time we can make the aircraft easier to take apart and put in the car and faster, the better it's getting. You know, it's always about trying to improve that product and make it better for our end user experience. And these are things we've been asked for. So it's nice to see them getting incorporated. You know, and as aircraft get retooled and redesigned, you know, they go away for a little bit. If your favorite airplane from us, from Motion RC or Freewing or Flightline goes away, don't be too worried. There's a lot of them that are getting reworked and retooled right now. I know you've seen the Freewing 64mm A10 just got a rework and a revisit, got new motors, power systems, paint jobs, that kind of stuff. I think the first one that got the rework was the T-45 Goshawk. My friend Jerry just picked up a new version of that aircraft. You know, it lost the slats, but it saved a lot of weight by doing that, and then got the new motor. And that aircraft flies tremendously better now, just from those little bit of changes. I know a lot of guys were sad to see that feature go, but it made the aircraft fly so much better. And it's a trade-off that I really feel once you fly one, it's worth it. And that aircraft is fantastic. What is it? The Yak 130 got, the smaller one got the new green paint job. That was a rework. A couple of the 64s have got them. So, you know, if you see an airplane go away, don't count it out as it's gone forever. A lot of them are making returns and revisits as version 2s. So we're really looking forward to that. I know a lot of guys have been asking me about the F-16. I've seen that the cat's out of the bag on that. There is a new version of that coming in time for the larger 90mm. So that's going to be a lot of fun when that one comes back. But it'll be a little bit still, but it's going to be fun when it comes back. But yeah, guys, the biggest thing I can tell you is when you see one of those new aircraft here lately, if you want one, get one because they go quickly. The J-10's first additional stock sold out. I know we have some more of the J-10 6S's in stock currently. You know, I don't know how much longer those are going to last. So if you've been looking at this aircraft, I highly recommend picking one up because you snooze, you lose around here lately. I know the F-14 was a big hit, but that one's been out of stock for a little bit. We have more in production and coming. So hopefully that one will be hitting pretty soon again also. Let's fire this thing up real quick. We were going to show the landing gear. So we'll fire her up. Now the other cool thing on the J-10 is all the lights. So the J-10 has 11 LEDs total. Once again, you have this one up on the front. Not sure if you can see that right now. All right, yeah, there you go. So you can see that one inside the cockpit right here. And as you can see, when we take the cockpit off, it just turns off. Push that back in there. And as you can see, when we lift that up and down, that turns that light on and off. You also have the solid white light here. On the tail, you have a strobe beacon right here and a solid light on the tail section of the aircraft. Then you have your green and your red on both sides. And then let me grab a stand and we'll flip it over and take a peek at the bottom and we can show those landing lights. And let's see here. Hi-ya! Yep, got to figure out how to put it in the stand right now. J-10 is an awkward model to put in a flight stand. There we go. You just got to get it just right. There we go. So let's go to the front cam for a second, Lori. So guys, if you can see, you have the 3 LEDs on the landing lights. So you got one here, here, and one up on the front. If we hit the landing gear option, here we go. The lights will turn off and the wheels will go up inside. And then you have 2 magnets right here that are actually going to hold the doors shut. So if you are going fast, they don't blow open. We'll hit that again, and then we'll go to the top shot and show you them again up close. Might have to have Lori kind of zoom in on them, or just push the aircraft forward a little bit. There we go. There we go. Let's go back in. And you'll see right here those magnets that clip them shut right there. So if you did the B-25, same setup as the bomb bay doors, they had those magnets in the corner that just help hold them shut. And there we are coming back out again. Very detailed and scale set of gear. I also like, if you look here, there's like wires all in here, but they've been pinned down using staples throughout here and glue to help keep these wires from ever getting up and into anything. The doors are on servos. Let's see, can I get something to point with? I got an MIP screwdriver here. There we go. So if you see right here, you have the servos that drive the doors, and then you also have these rails that are mounted right here where this support bracket can run in and out on that trunnion. On top of that, you also have the full suspension landing gear. They are very soft on this, and they really work well in the grass. I mean to keep getting some footage out of this airplane flying out of the grass. I have had about 5 flights. I flew it out at Rich's field, and it was just too rough to show that one because his field is really rough. But the aircraft handled it. It was not a very pleasant experience flying off of his rough field. Yeah, so we're going to find a better place to fly it off the grass coming up. Maybe Jet Jam's got the edge of the runways clean or something. We'll get it flown, though, for you. It will definitely handle grass strips if guys are worried about that. Let's see here. While we're there, you can also see the front gear. If I can figure out how to hold it, that one's got nice, cushy suspension again. While we're underneath, we also have the lights right here on both sides. You have a red and a green on the bottom. So yeah, 11 LEDs total on this aircraft. Really nice. The other cool thing with the ordnance set, they've got this new design for the drop tanks, for guys that have done drop tanks on some of our other models. This one has a larger receiving point for the drop tanks. These are normally magnetic on most of our models, but this is a new style for these bigger drop tanks. Let's see, top shot for a second. Can y'all see that? I don't know if the exposure is overblown right now or not, but exposure's kind of going crazy on that camera right now. But it's that larger hole to make those easier to put on and off of the aircraft. I'm in a weird spot. Let me turn it around here. Not stab myself. There we go. And there's your receiving point for that. And the ordnance is included in the box for this aircraft. So you get it just as you see it with all these bombs and missiles. Same thing with the ones on the outside. These can be taken on and off also. And I do like the way the aircraft flies clean a lot better. But I know a lot of guys love to see the ordnance on their aircraft for static display or for flying. And you can definitely fly with the ordnance on. just expect it to be a little bit slower, you know. I would say you lose probably 20 miles an hour of top speed with all the ordnance under the aircraft. Flies fine with it, and be ready. When you come into land, you're going to establish your high alpha, and it happens really quickly where it'll start to drop. You've got to be ready to catch it with that throttle, because this aircraft's going to want to land nose up attitude on the mains, and you're going to be flying it in using your throttle for altitude, not your elevator. So you set your angle of attack as it's coming down. If it starts to sink, you add a little more throttle. If you need to descend, you take a little throttle out. So that's one of the things you have to get used to, whether it's Eurofighter or this aircraft, the Mirage, any of these Delta Wings. F-16s are the same way. If you want a great airplane to start practicing flying something like this with, the 70 millimeter V2 F-16 is a fantastic aircraft to start learning high alpha with. That aircraft will stand up almost on the tail and still be able to punch out of it. Same thing with the Eurofighter. It's just a little smaller, and that camouflage is a little harder to see in the sky versus that Arctic camo F-16. I think that's one of the easier aircraft to see in the Delta style lineup of aircraft to start practicing this with, if you're trying to move into something like this. So that's the hardest part for a lot of people, whereas, you know, F-14 doesn't really do that. I see a lot of guys get into issues with the F-14 because they're trying to land it like an F-16 where you get the high angle of attack. That airplane will stall. You want to actually bring that one in at a lot shallower glide slope and flare at the end of your landing to get that aircraft to land beautifully. You know, I've done a bunch of videos on it. A lot of guys have seen me fly that aircraft. As long as you treat it correctly, it's going to treat you correctly. It needs to fly in with about 20% power, kind of a shallower approach. Right as you go to land, then you kill the power and give it that flare, and she'll just land as nice as it can be. But like I said, if you try and bring it in like a Delta, it will stall out. Whereas this aircraft or any other Delta Wing, you can just stand it up and it'll never fall out. It'll just start to sink really fast. It's hilarious. I've got video of on the channel of the Mirage where I can be, you know, at the end of the runway and bring it straight down and power out and land it. So that's one of the things you have to get used to when you're flying these Delta Wing aircraft. As far as setup goes on this aircraft, I went by the book as far as my throw rates. You can actually see them here. I mean, it's pretty cool. The front canards move with them. The elevator is interesting. So you can see what would normally be your elevator is actually your elevon. So when you go aileron, the outside panels move. When you give elevator, both panels move together. So if you were to have aileron and start putting elevator in, you can see how they move together. And that's all pre-mixed for you through the flight controller board built into the J-10. So this sets up just like a normal 6-channel model. You do, or yeah, 6 channels, because you do your ailerons, your elevator, your rudder, gear. No flaps on this one, but you do have reverse thrust. What's the last one? I missed one. Oh, throttle. There you go. And there's 6. I always forget the throttle. But yeah, so normal, just plain 6 channels for this aircraft. You can take advantage of all the features of it. You don't have to program any mixes in the board or inside your radio because it's going to do it all for you, which is really nice on this. F-14 is the same way. We're trying to get it where you guys don't have to do a lot of programming out of the fact. Now, of course, if you want to, you can split the canards into their own channels and take that mixing into your own hands to where you could have the canards act the way you want. They do both have servos right here that can be unplugged in the front and plugged straight into your receiver. So a lot of guys want it to where you're only elevator and no roll on your canard. I fly it with the roll rate on mine. Flies fantastic this way. I have no plans of changing that, but I know for scale, guys, sometimes they like to pull those 2 leads, and all you need is an 8-channel receiver at that point, and you plug those 2 into their own channel, and you can have full control over the canards. I've seen a couple guys do them where they have air brakes, so when they land, they hit the button, these flip up, and that's your air brakes. Only thing I don't like about that is if for some reason the aircraft started flying again, you have a ton of down elevator, and it will cause the airplane to start bouncing. So it's cool looking as like a display thing, taxiing out and stuff, but as far as actually using them for the air brakes, I'd recommend using the reverse thrust instead, because the reverse thrust in this aircraft is extremely effective. Anyway, any other questions on the J-10 right now while we got it out here, or we can move on to the next aircraft? Like I said, just giving that kind of update on it. I love this thing. I think a lot of you guys, as you see them out at your fields, are going to fall in love with it. It's not a model that I was really looking out for until they said they were making it, and then I kind of fell in love with it after it was in front of me. I have to say, this is by far the nicest aircraft Freewing has ever made. If you get to see one up close, the attention to detail on this is absolutely gorgeous. This is definitely one of our super scale models. From the rivet detail all over the aircraft, the actual smooth finish of it, I mean, it's really, really good. Yeah, anyway, I will say I had to do a little touch up on a wingtip. I banged it into the trailer. So if guys are looking for a color that's really close, I don't even know if you can tell, but I had to paint that wingtip that you're looking at right now. And you probably can't even tell because I banged that into the trailer putting it in. But I used Vallejo USNL Ghost Gray Surface Primer. This is 73.615 for the paint color. So if you're ever looking for this, I shot this through my Benchcraft airbrush, and you can hardly even tell I had to paint that as a touch-up. So a lot of guys always ask me what colors I use when I touch up stuff. So excuse me. My throat's dried out. All right, I'm gonna unplug this, and we'll move on to the next aircraft. Give us just a moment. Hi-ya! And Lori, would you mind if I had a sip of your water real quick? Throat's a little dried out. Here, you can have it back. Perfect, thank you. So guys, this is the DO-27. This is from our Nexa line of aircraft. Now, if y'all were following along with the channel about a month ago, I did a full build series on the Piper Tri-Pacer. This one is extremely similar to that aircraft, so I'm not doing the full-blown, you know, every part series. That was fun to do once, but that takes a lot of editing to do that for each aircraft, and I just don't know how to squeeze that into time frame. Now, if you've been following our shorts, I've been trying to do some short stuff with this aircraft throughout the week. But yeah, Papa's been building this one, and I've been just sitting out here with him doing other things, but super easy assembly. If you're looking for a great first balsa aircraft, the assembly on this is extremely straightforward. I did vary a little bit away from the recommendations on the product page. As I've done on some of my other models, I used Freewing and Flightline servos for the aircraft. I like the 30-gram tail servos from like the F-18, and I believe the MiG uses the same one. But anyway, they're very inexpensive on our website. We trust them in all our jets, and they fly great. And I've done several of these balsa aircraft using those now. On these smaller ones like this that don't take a ton of torque. Now, if you were going to try, I'd go and do a 3D plane. I don't recommend those. But a little scale aircraft like this that's in this like 60 size, 40 size. I call this like a 40 size aircraft. You can see those servos are great for them. Of course, you can always use the high-techs that we recommend on the website, and they'll drop right in. I'd say the one issue with using the Freewing ones is sometimes the hole spacing's a little different, and I have to cut them out a little bit to get them to fit in. But good news about balsa is it's super easy to do that kind of stuff when you're in there doing it. Now, I just have the wings slid on. We're at the point now where I've got to put the servos into the wings, or should I say Papa does, because he's putting this one together. So all the hinges are just installed, and as you can see, I haven't actually installed the wings yet with the pins here. There's the pins that hold them straight, but those haven't been put on just yet. Just kind of slid it together so it'd look good for this. We are using the Admiral GP10 motor that is right off our recommended product page. And you can see it fit perfectly. No issues with fitment, right up inside the cowling. I don't see this needing any kind of nose weight. That motor is pretty hefty in this aircraft and really fits in there well. And you can also see, now I haven't done this with the wings on, but lots of room. Let's see here. to get into the battery bay, if I can get a hold of it in the right spot to actually take it off. There we go. I might take the wings off with it because I haven't actually fitted it yet. But as you can see, the wings normally would set there, but I don't have the pins in yet because we're still assembling. But you can see there is a ton of room to put your hand inside this aircraft for battery placement and stuff. I've got the Gecko 85 amp off of the website for this aircraft too. We're going to be running it on a 4S 3200. We're going to be mounting that right here. But you can see with the canopy off, I mean, you can get your whole arm in the aircraft. Very easy to service it. You can see there's where the tail servos are. Currently, I believe just the elevator is hooked up. Oh, I'm sorry. No, the rudder is right here. The elevator servo is in the aft section of the aircraft. It's actually mounted right here. But yeah, lots of room to get your hands inside the aircraft and do anything you need to do inside of there. Then when you put this back on, like I said, the wings are not actually seated correctly, so I'm going to put them like that for a second because we're still in the middle of the build assembly. You got to line these guys up just right, and that snaps in there like that, all magnetic. And then once again, just for the giggles of the video, we can slide those to right there. Man, dry throat today. And there it is up on the wheels. Thank you very much. Little sip here. Any questions on the aircraft so far?
Some great color scheme.
Oh, I love the color scheme on this one. With the orange accents around the aircraft, going to be super easy to see this in the air. You got that orange right up here on the nose. Sorry, it's killing me right now. You got the orange on the tail and the orange on the wingtips. So yeah, and then the bottom of the aircraft, so you can tell up from down, is actually a light color of bluish color. If you ever seen like a German gray, they're kind of a bluish color, and you actually see them. So you can definitely differentiate up from down very easily. Got a real good looking pilot in it. Kind of hard to show him right now. I'm sure we'll get lots of shots of him though when we go to fly the aircraft. But yeah, no, Papa's really enjoyed this one. He started on Friday and just kind of worked on it through the weekend, and this thing is going together super fast. I had to order 4 more servos. I didn't realize I didn't get enough when I ordered the plane. And so it'd be done right now if the servos were here. They're going to get here Thursday. And then we'll be out flying this one probably next week. So super looking forward to this. Easy to do, you know, it's got the flaps, it's got the ailerons, you got all the stuff you want in a little STOL airplane. It's extremely light too. This airplane is so lightly built, and that's a great thing. If you're trying to do a STOL airplane that's going to fly in and land nice and gentle, your key to success is keep it as light as you possibly can. Always. This is the key to STOL airplanes and making a high wing plane like this fly good, is keep it light. I'm going to say all up, this thing's probably going to be 6-7 pounds after I get the battery in it and everything. I mean, it is an extremely light aircraft. Yeah. Lori says we have another question.
Another question. Just wanted to let you know. Rich popped in and says,
Wesley. Yeah, that's Rich's thing. He calls me Wesley.
With a Z.
Yeah, super looking forward to being out there at the RC Informer field flying with him. He's getting close to having the building put in, and then we're going to have a runway out there, and we're going to be having a load of fun out there with Rich in the next coming year. That is going to be a fun thing. So good to hear from you, Ridge Baker. I got to start something crazy for him now, and we're looking forward to it. But yeah, so guys, that's about it for today. This is kind of where we're at on some of the updates on some of our aircraft we've been working on lately. Had a lot of fun. If you didn't see it, we had the video last week that was just a for fun video of my gigantic 154-inch Wellington bomber. We attended the Frank Tiano fly-in, where legends never die, and I was able to win Best in Show there. So it was really cool to become the caretaker of that aircraft, and I actually got a hold of the gentleman that built it. I've been talking to him about going up and maybe filming a little interview with it. If he's something you're interested in, a true world-class modeler built that aircraft though. And it was so fun to call them and say, hey, by the way, I won this out at that event with it. Everybody super enjoyed seeing it fly. Anyway, I'm super, super happy about that one. So I hope y'all enjoyed that little video. It did really well. It seemed like a lot of guys thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, well, guys, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you today, showing you some of this new products. Don't forget, if you're getting in late, we have the MIP bit sets available now. Lori, pop them on the screen one more time real quick if you still got it open. These are new to the website. If you've been looking for the best Allen key screwdrivers, nut drivers available right now, we have these now in stock at Motion RC. Make sure you go check these out. They're a little more expensive than some of the other brands, but these are designed for the hobbyist. They're going to fit all your little grub screws on your landing gear, your tiller arms, all the stuff inside of your aircraft. These are specifically designed to fit those. You're going to strip so much less stuff. It's going to be a lot easier assembling your aircraft. I have the 3-pack set in front of me, which is going to be our most popular set. That comes with your 2.0, your 1.5, and your 2.5, which are the normal sizes you're going to need to put together almost any model aircraft. And you're going to have the right tool for the job. Anyway, well, guys, as always, whether it's air, land, or sea, Motion RC has all the products you want. I can't wait. I screwed it up. James gives me a heck of a, let's see, whether it's air, land, or sea, you can get it from Motion RC. I have to do it every time twice. They all laugh at me every time. That's our new phrase. We got it. We got it. One of our community members actually recommended that to me, and I was like, oh, I love it. But old habits die young, or hard, whatever. Die young. Can't talk today. I hope you guys had a great day hanging out with us. As always, if you're out at Joe Knoll right now, I miss you. I wish I was there with you guys flying. I sure hope to be there for Fall Knoll this year. Once again, if you're coming to Jet Jam in Indiana, I will see you out there. We will fly together. If you see me, come up and tell me. I'll try and film a fan flight with you. I love to do it.
So leave while you're ahead.
Leave while you're ahead. And guys, I had a lot of fun today. See ya. Peace.